Good morning, folks. Today, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. Halfway through the week. Morning, 3D Medic Vince, Low Sync, Havoc, Cybertech, Down Under Maker. How are y'all today? Other Cybertech with his injury. Almost Thursday there. Yes, still technically Wednesday. Thanks for the congrats on the win, Low Sync. Everybody telling me I needed to try out Central 3D's filament. I won a spool of it last night on Armored 3D Printing's stream. So first thing we got to do this morning is print a bracket. We're going to get that going. So over here, I've got it all sliced up. It's a bracket for a 5-volt power supply. Says 17 minutes plus whatever, however long it takes to heat up. Yep. So this is what we're working on today. We're going to install 5-volt power supply and hope that that fixes our issue with just the weirdness that's going on over here on the Trident. It's got 4 things pulling power, 4 things hooked up to USB now on the Pi, and the Pi is getting its power from the Leviathan. So I know that I had some issues with the 2.4 when it had because it has so much stuff hooked up to USB, like the screen pulls its power from there and all that happy or shit. What I ended up doing on there, and I might end up having to do on here, is getting a powered USB hub, plugging that into the Pi so that then I can plug other stuff into the powered USB hub so it's not pulling power off the Pi. That's what I did on the 2.4. Things like my NAS that runs on a Pi, it has to have that because the Pi just doesn't have enough juice to run all that stuff. So we might end up having to do that as well. Hopefully not. I was going to stream last night, and it's just getting ready to push up stuff, and Jeremy and Keela posted up that they were going streaming last night, so I was like, well, it'll just have to wait till morning. Hung out, watched their stream a bit, watched Bearded Printer stream, Armor 3D Printing. You're stuck on. There we go. Yeah, they're not too far. They're over in Wisconsin. I'm waiting for a Prusa nozzle removal tool to print in my Voron because the core one is fogged. Oh no. All right, so in other news, let me Chat's frozen. Huh? Looks like it's updating to me. So yesterday, made a trip. We went down, got some school clothes, and while the old lady was shopping for school clothes, I went next door to Micro Center and got the beginnings of our streaming PC build. Got the case. This thing was on sale for $30. NZXT H7 Flow. It's ATX case. Comes with 3 fans. Now I just got to get all the stuff to put in it. So that's the start of our streaming PC. Let me get chat up on my iPad here. Down under maker, that's what we're putting in here. I've got a Meanwell 5-volt power supply, but I had the same thing on the 2.4 and it still couldn't deliver enough power, so I wired in a powered hub into that Meanwell and then plugged stuff into that, so it wasn't pulling the power through the whatchamacallit. Now to figure out where we're going to put this thing. I would put it here, but this is in the way. I might have to do some modifications over here this morning. To get this to fit in there. We'll see. Yep. We got Meanwell RS25 5. Yeah, it doesn't look like a bad case, Havoc. Shrimp Father, how are you today? Yeah, I understand. So what do we got running off of USB here? We've got the camera. We've got the U2C. Got the Leviathan. Why is the Leviathan running off of that? That could have run off of UART. Oh, that's right. We're trying to use it in CAN bus bridge mode. That's why. Yeah, we're trying to use it in CAN bridge. Martin, I want to know more about that whatchamacallit. I'm not using CAN bridge. I had to add the U2C because CAN bridge wouldn't work. Me and JHP, the designer of this board, spent days trying to get this thing to work, and it wouldn't work. It's initial shipment of Leviathan boards, and they had some issues. Your day is ruined. What happened? Oh, you forgot your coffee at home. Yeah, that could be a rough one. I don't have any coffee this morning. I was gonna, after I put the stream up, I was going to go in the house and put a pot of coffee on. But I got talking to Cybertech there in chat about his injury and never made it. So I guess we're gonna have some Coke for breakfast. I didn't have my breakfast either. Oh, our source of caffeine this morning. Yeah, stop and get some. Small build. Ah, there we go. Put that down in the corner for now. No, fuck no. Don't apologize, man. So I know exactly what that kind of feels like. I had an injury. Mine happened at work. I should have let him take me out. The doctor wanted to take me out of work. But I just transferred to this department, and me getting injured fucked up there like 3 days shy of 300 days without an injury. Slipped on a platform, fell down into slough, and then fell back out of it. Would have fallen 6 feet onto concrete on my head had my foot not got stuck underneath of a junction box inside. But doing so fucked my knee up. So I fell out backwards, and my leg underneath of that caught it, hyperextended the fuck out of my knee. Yeah, it was bad. Martin, I hope you don't mind your promotion, but you've been promoted to mod. Down Under Maker, I see you've got a stream scheduled for what is tonight for me. So if anybody's not subscribed to Down Under Maker, go over there and subscribe. He's doing really cool stuff. He's way more professional than I am. Can't sit, can't walk, just, yep. Yeah, they had me on sit down only. So I was like doing cut tests and stuff, and another guy was supposed to be running the machine. That didn't necessarily happen. Yep, 12 hours from now. Go over there. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Do all those fun things. And maybe if we send enough traffic his way, maybe Down Under Maker will make me a t-shirt as well. Speaking of t-shirts, there is some new merch up on the merch store. I took one down because the old lady called an error on it. I got a new graphic with it fixed. The making it on the Spectrum t-shirt, I'll be putting that back up later today after stream. But yeah. Hat. Got a hat now. How I didn't have one, I don't know. And then what was the other one? I made a bikini. Didn't post it. I just made that as a joke for a inside joke. What was the other one? It was a t-shirt. Oh, I remember my first day. It's a little joke that I say to people at work all the time when they do something stupid. I'm sure I'm not the only person that says it. Just like, yeah, that's a rookie mistake. Yeah, I'll go with the custom t-shirt Down Under Maker. Buddy Ruxpin, how's it going? Sitting through meetings. Ugh. Just tell them to email you the meeting notes afterwards. So I guess while we wait for that to print, we'll work on tearing this apart some more. We've almost got the gantry completely apart. Oh, update on the build plate. Fabrico is going to go ahead and send over a replacement for that. Digital Dragon, how are you today? I've not. How fast are you trying to print? And do you have like your rotation distance and everything like that set correctly in Clipper? Have you checked that it's actually, when you tell it to feed a given amount of filament, it's actually feeding that much? Canceled meetings are always nice. Maybe check and make sure that your hot end's actually at the right temperature. I know that I had an issue with my repeaters. That's why Fadus sent me parts to update all of them. But it was the opposite problem. They were way hotter than it was saying. Come on, get out of there. Let me bring Chad over here. What hot end do you have on there? Yeah, I don't think so. I used the Orbiter 2.5 on the Micron for a while, and I didn't have any issues with it. That's actually the extruder that's going to go on here. Sounds to me like you might have the config wrong. Now with the Orbiter, so like with like the Clockwork 2, there's two different numbers, a ratio and a rotation distance, and with the Orbiter I don't think there's a ratio. I think there's just the rotation distance or whatever. Yeah. So I double check your config, make sure that's right, and then double check that when you tell it to like extrude 100 millimeters, it actually extrudes 100 millimeters. Take your nozzle out of your hot end or something. Set the minimum extrude temp down to 0 or whatnot, just for testing. Make sure you put it back. If you have a temp probe, check and make sure that it's actually at the right temperature. All right. Red Lizard. I've not used those. They're like the okay for import version of the Dragon, if I remember correctly. I'm not judging. Hot end's a hot end, sir, for the most part. And I know a lot of people that have Red Lizards and have no issues with them. You might just have a bad thermistor. You might have the extrusion multiplier messed up somewhere. Not the extrusion multiplier, but the extruder ratio messed up. Custom tool head. Make sure that like your PTFE tube between the extruder and your hot end, if you've got that, is clear, like it's not kinked or anything. Make sure your nozzle's not partially clogged. I've had partially clogged nozzles that do that to me. I would like to do that mod to this where you replace the stuff with those spherical bearings like the Trident has. All right. V0 got up to temp and is printing away. So I am waiting to move my gaming laptop out here to set up the stream stuff on this bench till after Captain Kern is doing some streams to help raise money for cancer stuff. It might be the same charity that Jeremy and Keela are doing stuff with. I'm not entirely sure. But I was going to play PUBG with him on one of those streams and just die a lot. Somebody's got to be there to die for the cause. TZ3. I don't even know what that hot end is. I know it's a hot end because I've seen people mention it before, but I don't think I've ever looked at one. Looks like a bamboo and a slice out of. All right, I'm gonna go look this up. Oh, oh shit! I had you guys on the wrong screen again. TZ3 on it. This one. Wow, man. So I definitely go with the 80-watt version. 80-watt steel nozzles. That's a damn good price. $22. Is it V6 style? Uh, Ooh, look at this hot end. Does it tell me how much this thing pushes through? Why is nothing wanting to click right, man? There we go. Wear resistant. Listen, I just want the flow rate on this thing. Ooh, look at those flow rates. I saw somewhere in here 69.3. And what's the repeato? It doesn't say. Well, I think that might be the next hot end for the Trident is that CHCXL. Yeah, it's basically what I have down under Maker. Yeah, it's a lot of melt zone. I went looking for the TZ3, but I got sidetracked. I do apologize. All right. We're going to bring this over here. And we're going to put some lubricant on these. Yikes. That is covered in dog hair. There's a lot of dog hair down there. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Get this camera out. Pretend like I'm a freaking professional around here. I'm just gonna put some grease in here. That's one. Now I'm wondering if I shouldn't just go ahead and do the X-rail as well. Pull that apart and grease it. That's why your zero G went from moving to a new frame to a whole new printer build. Yeah. Scope creep. All right, there we go. I'll go ahead and undo these screws and do the X one while I'm at it, I guess. The V0 is done. Just let that cool off for a minute. If you weren't here, part of this 2.4 rebuild is this gantry is all Polymaker PPS CF. Well, we're out of grease in there. These are the Vindia ones. They're the ones that came with the FormBot kits. They do have grease ports on the side, and I do grease them that way. So it's not like they haven't been greased since like I built the printer or anything. But yes, they do. They have grease ports on the side of them. We'll get this back together. I tell you what, yesterday was a rough day. Oh, so I got to see one of the H2Ds in person yesterday at Micro Center. So that was pretty cool. Da Vinci, welcome to chat. LTX Designs, welcome to chat. I missed the fact that you were here. So yeah, H2D looks like one awesome bit of kit. Yeah, printer looks sweet. Purposely made sure I did not take enough money with me to be able to get an A1 combo. That way I would be avoid that temptation. These are trash. So we've got new ones. I cannot afford to spend the money on that right now. I'm not getting paid right now. Still haven't got that figured out, and who knows when I will. So I definitely cannot do that. I took money with me to get that case because $30 was one hell of a fucking steal. And money to buy the kids some school clothes. And that was it. I did buy a couple rolls of filament. I bought a roll of white, a roll of pink, and a roll of black PLA for these Nerf blasters. Sucks being an adult. Yes, it does. My vape is out of juice. All right. I generally try to avoid pulling stuff off of build plates while they're hot, but what can I say? I'm impatient. Want to get this going. Hate being an adult. Yep. All right. How's this thing attach? Some little M3 screws. M3x6 maybe? Yeah, I think that'll work. Oh, you're welcome for the reminder. I kind of wish school had kids' uniforms here, but they don't. All right. So, what do we need? that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. All right. I don't know if they all should have school uniforms or not, but I think it would make some things a lot simpler and easier. Though I don't like the idea of, for other reasons, I don't know. Trick is to do this and make sure you don't cut any wires in the process. There. Cut that there. What do I have over here? Just notching this out so that this will be able to drop down in there. All right, it's all notched out now. Now I'm just gonna take and clean this up a bit, I think. I need a new blade in this thing, or maybe I can just spin it around. Looks like I haven't used the other side. My utility knife. Captain Kern, how's it going, sir? I was trying to get a hold of you last night. So it is simpler, but the issue I have with school uniforms, Havoc, is the fact that now, and Sarah and my kid, like, so for instance, right now money's tight, right? I don't have the money to go out and buy them 5 uniforms a piece for school, right? So it would be where right now it's a situation where I can buy them, you know, a couple outfits. They can still wear clothes that, you know, they've gotten over the summer, or my older daughter still fits in some of her clothes from last year. Where if I had to buy uniforms, that would kill me. And those things, they're never freaking cheap. They're always so expensive. I agree. I think the schools. So also, I'm pissed. Give me a school supply list of stuff to buy, and it wouldn't be such an issue if it wasn't for the fact that Half of that's not even supplies for my kid. You know? It's not stuff they're using. It's stuff for the teachers and stuff for, you know, all the other kids, and it pisses me off. All right. So there's our 5-volt power supply. Let's go get some wires. So one of two things is going to happen here. I'm going to unhook this, and it's going to be running on USB, and it's not going to be an issue. Or I have it set up to run over UART. And then I got to figure out which one of these is the 5-volt and ground. Or 5-volt. There should be a ground pin over here somewhere. And I can unhook the USB. JPP. Yeah, exactly. Me personally, so if it wasn't for the old lady, I would do this. I would go out, buy my kid the stuff that they actually need. Oh, and the other thing too is you buy them a whole bunch of shit. It's a generic list that they made for the entire grade. Well, this teacher doesn't actually use that. So you're buying shit for your kid that they're never actually going to use. My older daughter never carried a backpack around with her all year. Never had any of this shit. She's never going to use any of it. I don't know what administrators make, but I know teachers make far too little. Because I debated going and getting whatever I needed to become like a STEM teacher. But then I realized I'd have to work 2 jobs. Hey, teachers start off at like 40,000 or something here. That ain't fucking enough. Maybe if you're, you know, fresh out of college or whatever, and you don't actually have any student debt because mommy and daddy paid for it or whatever, but if you paid for your own college, that's not even enough when you come out of college. That's a fucking joke. You can legit make that much money going to McDonald's and flipping burgers. What's the world come to when you make the kid that the teacher's teaching is making more money than that teacher flipping burgers part-time at McDonald's? Back where I grew up, even in the late 90s, early 2000s, teacher salaries started off at 60,000. So I don't know what the deal is here. Why it's such a freaking joke. Red. Do I have any black? I have an ass ton of blue. I don't have any black. Fuck it. I'm just gonna bring this whole thing over there. Yeah. And we wonder why our kids can't get a good education. They do that too, Havoc. All right. So, live is brown. So we gotta go from there all the way over to here. Yeah, my son just started a job as an automotive tech at a dealership. He just graduated high school. You gotta be careful with some of those trade schools. They're just a joke, don't give you anything, aren't going to get you paid anymore, just going to get you student debt. They're just out there trying to grab people's GI Bill. Charging as much money as an Ivy League college for a year in a trade school. All to get you no further than where you would have been if you never went at all. All right, let's put this on here. Yeah, the whole system's is screwed up. bunch of money grabbing and taking advantage of people that just don't know. Nope, this is real expensive electrical tape. We don't want that electrical tape. We just want thin vinyl electrical tape. I don't have black, so I'm just doing the old electrician thing and putting some electrical tape around the wire to signify what it actually should be, what it actually is. Yeah, that's a shame, Digital Dragon. The system's so messed up. All right, so blues are neutral. Wait. Blues are neutral. Let's get a screwdriver. Right as our live. Blue's gonna be our ground. Where did I get all this blue wire from? Oh yes, I remember. So Digital Dragon, how is the Mercury build going? Saw you went, it was yesterday you were live, I think, but I was out school clothes shopping for the kids at that time. Bill, I think setting up TMC auto tune helps some. All the panels to aid with the input shaping. I've never used that auto tune. I hear mixed things on whether or not it helps or hurts. All right. Digital Dragon 2.4 was built with a Formbot kit. The Micron was built with a Formbot kit. The Trident was too, but the only thing out of that, as far as stepper motors or anything that I used, was the Z stepper motors out of that kit. I basically, so out of that Formbot kit, I used wiring, screws, the SSR, the Z lead screws, bearings, and the bed. Oh, and fans. I used the fans. That was the only thing I used out of that Formbot kit for the Trident. And it was still cheaper to buy the entire Formbot kit than it was to self-source those last few things I needed. Is it, what was the issue that you had with the, see, I never had that on the 2.4. I used all the 2.4 stuff. All the Moons motors on the 2.4, and I never had an issue. I'm replacing them with the giant stepper online ones in this build, rebuilding it, but not because there was necessarily an issue with it. Now, would they print? I never pushed them super hard, you know, never tried to push them really fast. So I don't know there. All right, so I gotta run positive and negative to the pi, negative over to the power supply for, well, 48 volts closest. So we'll do that to tie the DC grounds together. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I don't have any experience with anything older than that. I've used LDO motors, but I've used Moons, I've used Stepper Online, and I've used shit. The classified steppers now from Fabrico are in the Trident here. All right. There's some Here's black. Here's red. There was my thicker black wire. Yeah, I was going back and forth between whether or not I wanted to get the Krakens or the classifieds, but just looking at the data sheets, the classifieds looked like they were going to be a better motor. I don't know. I don't have Krakens to be able to compare them. If Jason wants to send me over some Kraken motors, though, Kraken motors and another Leviathan board, we'll put that in the 2.4. All right. Let's see. Where needs to go from here? Over there. We'll cut that about there. And then we need to go from there up to there. All right. 1, 2, 2. Okay. DC negative. Then run this. Nope, nope, nope. Try to fish this through over underneath this power supply. There she is. Connect this over here. Tie our grounds together. I'm running around trying to do 40 things at once to get ready for the next 10 days of charity fundraising. Yeah, Captain, when did you want, what day and time were you wanting me to do the PUBG stream with you? I was talking about that at the beginning of the stream, because I'm waiting. I don't want to move my gaming laptop out here for streaming until after that. Okay, Saturday the 9th. That's what it looked like to me on the schedule it was going to be. So that's this coming Saturday. What time is that? Is that 6 p.m. Eastern? Is that what I saw on there? Seven p.m. Eastern. Okay. Is this going to be on your Twitch channel or on your YouTube channel, so people know? Both. Okay. So, Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern on either one of Captain's channels. Fundraiser for cancer. Is it the same one that, same charity as, like, Keela and Jeremy are doing that slime thing for? Yep. Okay. So, if you are available and so inclined, Saturday at 7, and all throughout the week, starting today, I think it is, you're going to be doing different charity stream stuff, right? So what are you going to be streaming today? What's your content plan for today? Okay. Sounds like a plan. Assuming that the old lady doesn't tell me that I have plans I don't know about, I'll make sure to hop in. And stop by and say hello. All right. All right. Sounds good. So if you're not on Captain's Discord, go ahead and pop in there. Captain, is it all right if I post invite for your Discord in chat? There's a link to Captain's Discord if you want to go over there and check it out. JPP, I'm sorry, I missed your question. Difference between the Trident and Mercury, other than Trident being ground up and Mercury being a conversion. I don't know. I do not know. I've not built a Mercury, so I don't have that information. I think it'd be fun to build some other printers, some of these other projects, but alas, I do not have the means to do it currently. All right, now we need to go and get some DuPont connectors. Oh, almost. Come on. Get in there. There we go. All right, now, what is the pinout for this? 5 volt, 5 volt ground. All right, now we get to find out whether or not I have this situated to run over USB or UART to the Leviathan. Keep an eye on this screen. Let's see what it does. Hey! Success. Now, just for shits and giggles, oh, fuck. That's sliced for ABS. Let's do this. Let's come over here to the monitor. Orca slicer. New project. On the Trident. Did I ever update this for the... I did. Okay. Didn't know if I put the new Wi-Fi information in there. See if I still have that Cali Dragon. Download. Cali Dragon. Let's load up some PLA. This spool is all broken. This spool is all broken. So I think we can get rid of those safely. All right. Slice and print. Upload and print. See if she works, folks. See if she works. So while we're doing this, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and drop down to the comment section. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. we'll get you the best seat in the house for that. It's gonna take a few minutes, and while that heats up and does its thing, I'm gonna clean up a bit. Put some stuff away. Throw some other stuff away. Is this? That filament's not all broken, at least. All right. This filament's broken in pieces on the spool. But I kind of want to keep the spool for purposes. Yeah. Studio space would be awesome. But I think we're a long way out for that for me. But the issue that I think I would have with a studio space is the old lady already complains enough about me being out in the garage. I can't imagine how much she would complain if I was leaving for the entire day to go hang out someplace else. This thing has wrapped itself around my chair. These are all trashes. Building a workshop just because of that. Out of space. Yeah, how's your acquisition for materials and stuff for your remodel going, Captain? All right, guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go toss these in the trash and grab stuff to refill my vape. All right, I'm back. Captain, the building is ordered. Order the concrete a week of its delivery. I want a shed. I just want a basic, cheapest, like 8x8 shed or 10x10 shed you can get, so that I can move all of this stuff. So we've got grill, lawnmower bikes, electric scooters, power wheel stuff, lawn care stuff, just all this stuff. That would almost double the working area that I have in my garage if I could get this into a shed. Used to be able to buy a basic metal shed for a couple $100. Frame out the floor, put some plywood down, put it on some cinder blocks, and you were good to go for, you know, under $500. Not so much anymore. Our LEDs are still doing weird flickering things. What? I gotta go look at that now, Captain. That is exactly what I freaking want. Uh, 80 square foot. So here's what and sent me a link to. This is exactly what I wanted. Just this. That's it. There's a bunch of options on here. Thank you. All right. Is that an affiliate link for you, Captain? Why don't you grab an affiliate link? That way, once I get stuff with this short-term disability sorted out, I can, when I order that, you can at least get a little bit of a kickback for it. Yeah, you send me an affiliate link. Toolhead run texted by no. You're not out of filament. Machine. AFC. Hardware. This might happen again. I might. The EBB36 had a pull-up resistor on that pin. This one might not. That might be what our problem is. We'll find out if it does it again. Dashboard. Yeah. All right. Well, we know it works. So there's that. Let's go over here to machine. Hardware. Pin tool head. And get rid of this pull-up resistor. Save and restart. Let's go over here and check sensors. Refresh. That's all right. All right, so that's, I had the same problem before, and it was because there's a pull-up resistor. So there probably isn't one on this one. It's causing that switch to... Yeah, RGB is flickering a little bit. How are you doing this morning, Killa? But at least it's not shutting down anymore. So that's progress. Gonna let that bed cool down before I try to take that print off of there. Then we'll test it again. What I can do, though, pull the plate of a giant hot thermal mass and let it cool down over here. Get all this crap cleaned up and put away. I don't know if I have the box for the Leviathan still. That's odd that I threw the box for the Leviathan away, but that is what it is, I guess. All right. While that cools off for a minute, let's go back over here. Nope. Okay. Can I fit this on the switch wire? Transfer. They do fit on the switch wire. They don't fit on the switch wire, actually. Because they're in the exclusion zone. How tall is this? 196. Slice plate. All right. Global supports off. And paint supports. There we go. KidCat20, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate you. So I don't think that needs supports either. All right, let's go back out here. What do we got over here? Supports. That'll need supports. That'll need supports. That can bridge, that can bridge. Should be able to bridge. Object. Enable support. Yes. All right. slice plate. All right, that looks good. We just got to move that over so it's not on freaking build plate. Move this over a little bit. Move this over a little bit. Put the switch wire to work. Bought the rights to WWE. I haven't watched WWE since I was a kid. The 90s. Disney's buying everything though, aren't they? All right. You guys couldn't see anything I was doing there on the slicer. I was working on slicing stuff for Nerf guns. New window. Let's go over here to the Trident. Macros. All right. I need to actually watch this time. Because I didn't have Z-tilt lit up like it never Z-tilted. Did Z-tilt. Print. $10-year deal for most all the recording and streaming rights. All right. Now we need to go over here, heat this up, and get this filament on it. So I was printing stuff on the CR10 and layers got weird after a couple layers. So I stopped it. I don't know what was going on. I did level the bed yesterday and get that all sorted so I could use the CR10, but it's giving me fits, man. I think an A1 would look real nice right there instead of that. Oh, yeah, they probably do have dirt. No, I blew it off. I blew everything off after I cut stuff. Yeah. So here's the pieces. We got come on, focus. See right there, it got weird for a couple layers. It is nice printing on a glass build plate. Look how shiny that is. This will give us a chance to check and see if the changes I made to the switch wire are going to work. That's a 1. That's a 2. That's a 3. Yeah, I'll check it out. Print. Upload and print. Get the switch wire over there doing something. Have you checked and readjusted the eccentric nut for the tension on the wheels any recently? No. It was printing fine. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that might be able to use a little bit of adjustment. Yeah, the one on the tool head might be able to stand to have a little bit of adjustment made to it. Yeah. Everybody knows all the woes of an ender. You've been around for a couple years anyway. Captain noted. I just need a printer to be able to print the parts. I'll be right back. I need my plug for this old iPad. All right, now we need to pay attention to make sure this thing does Z-tilt adjust. Did I miss it? Or did that thing never do a Z-tilt? Or a bed mesh? Oh, it's loading filament. Hold on. You're loading the wrong filament. I don't know why the initial tool thing isn't loading the right filament for these things. I am. With Beacon and Cartographer, you kind of don't want to use a metal brush. Yeah, I don't think that Z-tilted, I don't think it did a bed mesh. The freak is going on? All right. Machine. Yeah. So it's almost like it's not using my print start macro. Or it's using part of it. But not the rest of it. Macros. Print start. So it goes here, it cleans, does the nozzle cleaning. Let me delete that out. And let me delete that out. I'm streaming.
What?
I'm streaming. Morning. All right. Save. That's it. Dashboard. Stop. Firmware restart. And let's go in here and comment out toolhead, pin toolhead end. Save and restart. You're gonna bitch at me. Do I need to comment that out somewhere else? That's not sticking right there at all. Cancel that. Save that Z probe. Cancel. System restart. All right. Get our scrapey things. Good news is this doesn't look like it pushed a bunch of filament out all over the build plate. So that's good news. Print. Print. Yeah, Captain, let me know what you've got. And all that sort of stuff. That way I can start figuring everything out. I know I got to get another monitor. You said an SSD. I found a 1 terabyte Crucial one on Amazon for like 64 bucks. M.2. But I wanted to wait and make sure if you had a motherboard, if it took an M.2 before I got one. And then I guess I need to figure out a graphics card. It does have. I reached out to another guy, said he was switching out his graphics card recently to see if he ended up doing that, as he was talking about selling it to me, but he said he doesn't have it. So I'll have to figure out that. All right, I'm gonna take this build plate in and wash it down with some soap and water. I'll be right back. So, Captain, yeah, a 1650 would work for now, and then when I get the funds, which might be a while to get something else, I can get something else. But that would definitely get me started for now. Even if I'm not dual streaming with that, it should do YouTube just fine. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go wash this off. Keep an eye on this. Let me know if it Z-tilts and bed meshes. All right, I'm back. So yeah, that's the thing. All I need this thing to do is just be a streaming PC. Like, it's not going to be playing video games. I need support for 2 monitors. Be able to run slicers, stream, maybe pull up Fusion 360. Like, it's not going to live a hard life, other than the fact that it's going to be sitting out here in the garage. Oh no, it's Mike. Do I need to look at power supplies and CPU coolers and stuff like that, Captain? Or you got some of those laying around? I was absolutely floored at how expensive power supplies could be. Goodness gracious. All right, let's see if stuff wants to stick to the build plate now. If it doesn't want to stick this time, we're going to scuff this up with some Scotch-Brite. You are the man, Captain. All right, printer's doing things. Let's see if it does all the things. Looks like it's going to QGL this time. When I was setting up the config, it wasn't entirely clear whether or not I needed to tell it whether I wanted it to do it in proximity or touch. So I just put that in there, and I think that that was confusing it. Here goes our 30 by 30 bed mesh. Oh, she's still pooping out a little bit. She's still pooping a little. We'll have to shorten that up a little bit more. So I've got it set to do 2 scans. Mike, have a good one, sir. Thanks for stopping by. So, sounds like we might be having a Let's Build a PC stream coming up in the future. Depending on how that works out, Captain, I might not even move that gaming computer out here. I might just wait and set up the streaming on this bench with that new computer and everything. Oh, I thought you were saluting as a way of saying goodbye. I was going to say you got a really short lunch. This is retarded that it can't figure out what tool it needs first, so it's just loading tool 1. Oh no, when you depart. Okay. All right. Back to cleaning. Hopefully that second tool head sensor for after the extruder isn't really needed on Box Turtle. So if this works fine, I'm not even going to worry about moving that to another pin or whatever. It could just be this filament is a little weird too. And maybe not actuating that switch. I don't know. Sound like my brother-in-law about what he eats for lunch. Although it's not a Monster for him, it's a Red Bull. The offset looks all right. Damn. I've never tried those C4s, Mike. I think Monster has 300 milligrams of caffeine in it anyway. I was telling my daughter we need to get on like GarageBand on the iPads and like just make some sort of beats or something to play in the background on my streams. Something to fill the dead air. Absolutely. If you want to share, I will not say no. Yeah, I was using copyright-free music and I'm still getting copyright strikes, which take forever to get cleared, and you gotta argue with every single one of them, and I was getting multiples on each stream. Stupid. I am. I'm going to hold up a bit and wait till I can get a couple rolls. I want to get that green. It looks pretty cool. I'm going to get that sparkle red. That was crazy. We were just talking about how I don't have any luck when it comes to winning things on stuff. And I won that daily Polymaker Discord giveaway on Saturday, and then won that Central 3D filament. The green's gorgeous. And it looks almost like British racing green on the website. I never did hear back from Polymaker on the filament for the drawers and the multi-board, so I'm just gonna go with that was a no. I would like it if they told me no. All right, is this laying down right? far, so good. GTR Dad. So, I was trying to get filament sponsors for doing the drawers and the multi-board on the new workbench. That's what I was talking about, GTR Dad. But without filament sponsorship, I'm still going to do the drawers. It'll be a slower process if I'm doing it out of my own pocket. And I won't do multi-board. I'll just put up pegboard. I'll try to get like plastic pegboard or something though. Just coming out of my own pocket, I don't think it's worth the investment over what it would cost me just to buy a 4x8 sheet of pegboard to put up there. I'd like to do it for content and whatnot, and it's cool, you know, support whatever, but I can't afford. I did the math. It's like, I think, I can't remember. I have to look at the email. I did the math on how much it would take to print that. Between the drawers and the multi-board, it was going to be a total of 15 kilograms of filament I was needing. So it was not an insignificant amount of filament. I believe Essential 3D Filament's pretty good, and if it is, I'll that's a really good price on their ABS. I'll get a bunch of black ABS from them to print these drawers. Your ABS is clogging in the hot end. Is it clogging in the cold side? It's clogging in the cold side might be heat creep. You might need a better fan on your hot end. P1S. Huh. Like on filament swaps, is that when it's happening? Try a different brand of ABS. I'd grab a roll of like Polymaker or maybe a roll of Ambrosia from West 3D. They're both free shipping. So Sunlu ABS is absolutely not pure ABS because I printed a item for a customer, for a cosplay customer, out of the Sunlu ABS, just gray, because they were going to paint it after the fact. And I was trying to acetone smooth it, and acetone did nothing to it. So if it was ABS, it definitely would. Now, most of them aren't pure ABS. They've got additives in it and stuff like that. But acetone should do something to it. I'm not saying that's why it's breaking, but it's not the greatest filament on the planet. That's the only roll of Sunlu I have any experience with, though, so it's a sample size of 1. I've not tried any of their PLA or anything like that. Crazy how much better your vape tastes when you change the coil. The one I had in there, I've had in there for a month and a half. Have a good rest of your day, Mike. Can't tell you how excited I am to have my Trident back in action. It's been down for a minute. And he's back. We're nearing the end on this Cali Dragon. I can get to printing the rest of the switch wire parts out, so we can get to that build. But I was planning on doing the switch wire at this point right now, but the 2.4 went down. I was printing switch wire parts. The Trident had been down already and was trying to get that back working. So I didn't have anything to print switch wire parts on. And most of the parts I need are bigger than I can print on the Micron. So we're gonna let this Cali Dragon finish up. Looks like it's got 3 minutes left on it or so. Another 19 layers. And then we are gonna go ahead and call it. I'm gonna get some lunch, and then I gotta get some paperwork stuff dealt with. Captain, you said you're streaming tonight at 6 Eastern. Is that correct? Am I remembering correctly? All right. So, I don't want to overlap with you. Depending on how late you stream, we might come back tonight and work on the 2.4 some. Have a good one, Martin. No. I definitely worry about overlap. I try not to. Bearded Printer, how's it going? How'd your pencil turn out last night? How much filament do those things take, your pen and your pencil? All right. So there's a Cali Dragon. So I'm going to call this fixed. Knock on wood. Saw Martin, aka the Shrimp Father, had printed one of your pens. Looked like he did the Shrimp Father in like the Godfather font. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, helps out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't. I think everybody in chat's subscribed at this point, but there's definitely some people watching that aren't talking. So if you're just here lurking, watching, hit the subscribe button. Come back. Check us out again. We do a lot. There's a link in the description to the Discord, where you can get notifications for when we're streaming. You hit it twice to be sure. I appreciate that. It's always good to double check. No. I get that. I get that, Havoc. What I'm saying is there's people that have, I don't think, ever talked in chat that are currently watching. It says I've got 17 concurrent viewers right now. So there's some people floating around that don't chat. And that's fine. That's fine if you don't want to chat. I don't have a problem with that at all. I was just saying, for the people that might have just found it through the YouTube search algorithm that might be hanging out. French toast. I got stuff to make: sausage gravy and biscuits. But Kenneth. So, like I said, link in the description to Discord. If you'd like to help support the channel in a monetary way, there is a link down there to donate. YouTube doesn't take any of that money. They take like $1 out of it. And the rest of it goes to me. So that's a pretty good method for donating. We're getting close to, or we're not getting necessarily close, but we're inching our way towards getting channel subscriptions and memberships and stuff like that. So we're inching our way towards that. And then there's Patreon link down there. You can subscribe to the Discord. There's not really any bonus to it other than you're supporting the channel and making it possible to do more cool, fun things. And there's some Discord channels that only one person's in because we've only got one Patreon. You're trying to lose your dad bod? Oh, I stay in a nice round shape myself. I don't know. It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I don't lose any weight, but we're looking into that. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. We'll be back. If you haven't already, check out Bearded Printer over on Twitch. We've got Captain Kern on Twitch and YouTube. Who else do we have in chat today? Oh, we got Digital Dragon streams over on Twitch, then uploads his streams to YouTube. If you're watching Digital Dragon, I would really love you to multi-stream. Twitch is an extremely difficult platform for me to watch content on. Plus, like on YouTube, no ads. So yeah. Anyway, thanks y'all. Maybe we'll see you back here tonight, this evening. We'll see how tired I am after Captain's stream. Go check out that stream. It's for charity, supporting a good cause for cancer. Spread the word. Yeah, you really should, Digital Dragon. I find it extremely difficult to watch on Twitch. Also, Twitch doesn't work on some of my devices for some reason. Because I think I have like 10 different Twitch accounts, because every time I'd go to watch something, I couldn't remember the password for anything. Yeah, GTR Dad, I was having that problem last night with Lee Marie's stream. No matter what I did, I could not stay live with their stream. But then Armored 3D printing stream, I had no issue with. So, I don't know. But talk to you later, guys. Have a good rest of your day.